Welcome to the Au Jus. I'm your host, B-Flow. This show is being sponsored by our friends Punky's Pizza and Pasta, located at 2600 South Wallace, my personal favorite eatery in the neighborhood. They have the best selections of pizzas and pastas, as well as sandwiches and salads of any spot in Bridgeport. Currently, they have what they are calling the Pizza Happy Hour, Mondays and Tuesdays only, between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. You order a pizza from Punky's, and you get 50% off. Yes, you heard that correctly. 50% off of pizzas ordered Mondays and Tuesdays between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. How in the world can you get the best pizza in Bridgeport at 50% off? The Pizza Happy Hour. Hit the website, punkyspizza.com, for all your carryout or delivery needs or to cater your next party. You can also call 312-842-2100. The Scarlotta family will take care of you. Punky's Pizza and Pasta. This show is also powered by you, the loyal 108 supporter. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Feel free to tickle the undercarriage in the process. Like, comment, turn on notifications, and most definitely super chat. That's how we continue to get paid and continue to make the content you know and love. Tonight's guest. He's the leader of the crew at the all-sports scene. He's playfully known as King Ass. He's one of the few people on White Sox Twitter to claim he has better hair than the 108ers. And he's been known to big-time Besnick because the drugs got to him. Sam Reeves, welcome to the Au Jus, my friend.
All accurate. Thank you. Thank you.
This picture is tremendous, and it's an extremely recent picture. Most guests I have on the show, I have to dig deep into the archives of their Instagram or their Facebook feeds or wherever to find something. You have a fucking treasure trove of pictures I could have used, but this one is marvelous. Excellent picture, my friend. I appreciate you doing the work for me.
You're welcome. I do have a whole album of just stupid looking pictures of myself. So I was wondering which one you would pick. So to have one such as recent as last night is pretty impressive. So
yeah, like I said, there's tons out there. I was absolutely glad to see that. Glad to finally have you on. I've been on your broadcast, and we'll get to that in a second, but I haven't had a chance to have you on here yet. Truth be told, I let you peek behind the curtain. You were a finalist in our minds for Festivus when we were working out the schedule, but we didn't end up being able to squeeze you in there. So maybe this year we'll see. We'll try to get you up in there. But it's good to finally chat with you. I want to dig into all sports scene. Okay, you guys have been around for a while now, for a real while now. I see since the 108ers have been doing this, podcasts come and go, live streams, etc. I saw you guys were in the 90-something episode of your normal Thursday night stream, and you guys usually come on at 7 p.m. kind of right before us. Mm-hmm. Full disclosure, I usually watch at least a little of the show when I'm getting levels and notes and stuff. I'll pop in on there, see what topic you guys have on. Sometimes I'm on there too long. I'm like, oh shit, I got to go fucking do my own goddamn thing. So I'm appreciative that there's a little warm up coming in there. So explain to the audience, what is the all sports scene? What in your mind, what is the all sports scene, Sam?
Well, the all sports scene is my brainchild. It is something I wanted to do. To your credit, saying it never a bad time to start a White Sox podcast, but I didn't want to do a White Sox podcast. I wanted to do like something, but this market's so obviously tapped with everybody, having their own career. Like, what the hell am I going to say differently than everybody else says about fucking Jacob Amaya at shortstop or whatever?
Correct.
Shit. So I wanted to make fun of sports and make fun of people who care too much about sports. So if you're a diehard and a big, fan, I'm making fun of you. Because I'm also like that, so I know how it can get. So I just wanted to take things that were, a little too serious and put a dumb twist on them. Because I have nothing else to do.
And so, okay, so and with regards to that, like, when exactly did this start? When did you start pushing this out there? And did it start with the live stream on YouTube, or did it start with? Because I know you guys have the blog too. Mm-hmm. Which part started first, and when did that get going?
So it started with a blog only. Celeste and I really kind of started this together with the blogging. So we started in April of 2022 after my very, very short stint with another Sox blog out there who I won't name right now, Southside Sox. I didn't see myself being in doing something that long, and also yes, Jackie was our first copy editor. So that's when I just kind of started writing some stupid shit that we had pent up in our heads. Like the first major thing we did was the mustache madness, and of all White Sox players who had crazy facial hair and mustaches, and we just wanted to do something dumb like that. And it was right off the heels of the 108 tourney, so everybody was still kind of in Twitter poll mode. So
yeah,
we kind of took advantage of that little gap in between, baseball starting, and you guys ending up with the 108 tourney. So, that kind of kicked everything off, and just from there, we had other people coming in writing for us. I think, at one point we had like 7 or 8 people writing for us. And,
oh shit, that's a big roster.
Yeah.
What's the frequency you're getting these people to write? I mean, like Treasy was mad at me because I hadn't written a blog in 2 fucking months. But I got a couple shows I'm planning, and we have other, whatever. But it's, sometimes tough to get the writing going. So were you getting people to go pretty consistent or what?
At the very beginning, yeah, everybody was excited, everybody was jazzed. But then, shit happens, life happens. People got stuff they got to do. We had some people exit early on. They're like, oh, I thought I could commit this. And like I told everybody who wanted to be part of this, there's no commitment. I don't have any money to give you.
You got to be doing this for the love of the game. Yeah,
right. Like if you want to write something, do it. I don't care what it's about. Do whatever you want. Like, whenever you want, which is, kind of a broad statement as somebody who's trying to, run this.
Yeah. Right.
I don't care when you write something. I love that, people want to even remotely be a part of this. So that's just how I treat it.
I love it. I was wondering that very thing. There was a time in the 108's history where we had intern action. We were trying to get people to come in and write for us. And someone had told me, Matt Zawoski told me a long time ago, very hard to get people to write for you consistently, even if you pay them.
Yeah.
So I found it to be true too. I see you did as well, Sam. Mm-hmm. So, well, that well dries up at some point. we kind of discussed it a little bit, but the reason you decided to do this is because not only you wanted to get your voice out there and talk, but you wanted to have a category or something that really wasn't in our ecosystem yet, and that was kind of like going down this path of basically making fun of the super fan or the is that correct? Is that kind of the ethos there?
Yeah, pretty much. To bring up Matt Zawoski, we do sports mockery better than sports mockery. So
by the absolute term,
by the name,
The name, yeah. You guys have some crazy ass fucking topics. When I'll tune in on Thursday before I'm like, wow, they're really going in on this thing, it's some crazy shit, you guys.
It's easy to sit around and just think of dumb things. I try to base it off things that are happening in sports and then try to make a dumb topic off of something. I introduced the show last week that we had. I was like, guys, nothing was fucking happening, so I have no idea what the hell we're going to talk about. These topics are absolute bullshit. And the immediate first question I ask everybody, they're like, this is a stupid question. This sucks. I'm like, great. I'm getting graded on my show.
Yeah, that's refreshing. I appreciate that, because as someone who puts agendas together for 108 Podcasts and for this show, sometimes 108 Podcasts, I put the agenda together and I'm like, this is a clunker. I know that we have nothing here. I hope MSS or Treasy come with something hilarious to hold this up, because this is a terrible agenda. So I appreciate you coming right out front with your group. Fuck, this sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. As Tina says, it's usually Stoop who's telling me things suck. So that's just, I'm used to it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's your partner in crime. Generally, that you two are the hosts of the Thursday panel, but also you guys have a Tuesday show that goes off every other week, roughly, sometimes a little less often than that. And it's a idea. I've told you this in the past, Sam, in person. I'm fucking jealous of this idea. I'm so mad that you thought of this and I did not think of this. This is a great idea. But the name of the show is called Talking Out of Your Ass, which is a guest-driven interview show. Explain the concept here. What do you guys do with this interview show?
So Stu and I co-host this show. It's an interview show where we bring a guest, like yourself has been on in the past.
I have
been on with us. So, all the 108 guys have basically been on there so far. We bring a guest on and we tell them to bring a topic that they want to be interviewed about, but we tell them not to tell us anything about it. So we don't want to do any research. We don't want to do any work. We want you guys to do all the work. So, we just ask how many whatever questions come to our head on your topic, and it often, 100% of the time, goes off the rails and doesn't stay on topic. So.
Yeah, it's very interesting because you guys are going in completely cold. And I know when I did it, I did not tell you guys a goddamn thing. I know Treasy did it. Same thing. We didn't tell you shit. And you just roll in there and you start asking questions and kind of get into the meat of it. Now you guys do a good job of baiting the interviewee, because they get to pick their own topic. They're going to have diarrhea of the mouth and they're going to just keep going and going on the shit, which is a good approach to doing this. But do you have like a rote set of questions that you kind of are always using, Sam, or Stoop's always using in order to get the person kind of further into their topic, even if you have no clue what the fuck it is?
So usually when I don't know what it is, that is usually the first question is, what the fuck is that?
Right.
And have them just kind of give us a synopsis of something, or, if it's something that we know about, then we'll just, say, hey, where did you come to, find yourself wanting to talk about this, or what interests you in this topic? Just to get things rolling. And then, just try to pick keywords, key things that people are saying, and then just go from there again. So I used to do the show myself as a co-host, and
that's gonna be tough.
It was hard. It was very difficult, especially when the first topic you come across is gay sex. So thank you, Celeste. But yeah, it was very difficult. So, I took a long hiatus from that, doing it myself. And then we eventually got it together. And I was like, hey, does anybody want to do the show with me? And Stu was immediately like, yes, let me. And I was like, oh, go. This might be bad.
No, I like it because you guys come from different approaches, and you guys have, even though you guys host together and are friends, you have varied interests. So like you can see in certain episodes, one of you may dominate the conversation as it gets deeper into whatever the topic is, as the interest level or the curiosity level goes. And it's an interesting approach. And all the ones that I've listened to the 108ers ones. Sean Anderson's one was really interesting in my mind because he didn't even really have a topic. His topic was to come back at you guys with not having a topic, and it was utter chaos. But a lot of times people will come into these things and talk about something that they're pretty much expert about, and it's cool. But it's not what they are. It's not what they do for a living. It's just something that they're really fucking interested in. And so that oftentimes leads to great discussions because if someone's real passionate about some shit, you can get real fucking deep on that. And so I appreciate, I love, like I said, I love the fucking format. I'm so jealous. I didn't think of this shit. Now, let me ask you this. When you're searching out guests, what's the criteria for you and Stoop when you're trying to pull it together? Or maybe you pull them together. I don't know. How do you brainstorm the idea for guests? Is there any specific approach to it?
I don't have like a specific approach. I have a list on my notes app on my phone of people I scout who I find interesting, who I like to talk to, who I've seen on other shows that I was like, oh, you know what, they might do well on this show too. If we bring them something, and this as well. Not all guests are going to be winners. They're not. It happens.
Very true. No comment back to the old Three Things days when we had a bunch of clunkers and we're like, oof, yeah. Well, we know who can do this and who can't now.
But I mean, it's just simply, for me, it's just reaching out to people, giving them the context of the show, and a lot of the responses, yeah, I'll do it. I have no idea what to talk about. I'm like, yeah, that's your job, not my job.
Right.
So. But yeah, I mean, I just try to kind of look at people's, how they talk, how they tweet, how people are good at, finding humor and things. I'm like, okay, they can definitely fit on this show. That's what we want to try to do. And, we try to diversify it as much as we can. Had a lot of female guests, had a lot of male guests. Like we're trying to keep it broad as broad as we can.
Right. Any of your guests surprise you with what their topic was, where you're like, you kind of know the guest a little bit, and then it's like, oh shit, what the hell? They're talking about this? I wasn't thinking they'd go in this direction. Well, or do you think it's kind of like that? You figure out the person, you're like, okay, they're only going to talk about a handful of things, and here's one.
Right. Yeah, there have been a couple of those. Yeah, again, Matt Zawoski talking about fucking Vanderpump Rules really threw me for a goddamn loop. We had Baloney talk about Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriends, so we did a set about ranking them. That was interesting. I mean,
he said he even brought his own slideshow. He said he's the best guest because he brought a slideshow. So
yeah,
he's uber prepared for these types of things.
My wife also brought her own slideshow on. So I mean, yeah, Janice with the Malaysian airline plane crash. I mean,
I didn't see that one. I'll have to check that one out. That's crazy.
Keelan did theme park disasters. I mean, we had all sorts of things all over there. I mean, we had Andrew brought on John Wayne Gacy. Like we talked about a lot of shit.
That's incredible. Yeah. HBIC in the comments says, hi, question, did Sam pay you to come on? I'll hang up and listen. No, he did not pay me. Get the fuck out of here, right? What's wrong with you? What a jerk. Now, you guys have been doing that show quite a while, and there's been some competition between some of us who've been on there who could get the most views or whatever. I think Sean Anderson's still kicking my ass for my episode. But my question for you, though, with regards to that show, who's your white whale? Who's someone that you really want to get on there? we'll put this out here. Maybe it'll get out to them that they should be on here and do the show, because I'm a big fan of it. I love the concept, and let's try to push it. So who is it? Maybe even if you got a couple of them, that'd be fine too.
Yeah, Adam Hogue is definitely one guy I want to get on the show.
Okay.
Big Hogan Johns guy. He's just anything he's done, I've really loved, and I just know he's a good podcaster. So I just want him to come on our show and be like, "This is the worst show I've ever done in my life. Why the fuck did I agree to do this?" But the other biggest thing I can think of is Sean Evans. I'd love to have Sean Evans come on this show. He's one of the best interviewers of all time with the Hot Ones show, and I just would love him to come on the show and have me try to interview him and just see what the hell he would come up with.
That'd be an absolutely monster guy.
And he's a White Sox fan, so
there's some chance.
You got to dream big.
That's I love it. That's absolutely awesome. Well, again, I love that show. Everyone tune in. That one is a Tuesday night. Your normal live stream is on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Just to throw that out for everyone. Now, I want to talk a little White Sox, and then we'll close this out a little bit later with some Sopranos. I know you're a big Sopranos guy, just like I am. But White Sox talk, you have long had an affinity for Andrew Vaughn, and I'm sure you're very sad Andrew Vaughn's been traded, although he's thriving now. But my question for you, is you have told me an Andrew Vaughn story in private. I want to know, are you willing to tell it on the podcast? Your brush with Andrew Vaughn. Will you be willing to tell this? Yeah.
I am absolutely. I will not name any names other than the two I can publicly name. So yeah, back in 2021 when he first was getting called up to the team, and they posted, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was a White Sox official account, whatever, but somebody posted that picture of the starting nine, back then. And there was that picture of Andrew Vaughn holding a bat, and he had the weirdest smile on his face. And I grabbed it immediately. I was like, okay, I'm going to use this for so many things because this face is priceless. So I start making all these photoshops of him on different people's bodies, all this stuff. And I'm posting them like crazy, and that's how people seem to find me, and my stock shot up, even though I've been on Twitter since 2009. But so later in the year, right around September, I get a DM from somebody name I don't recognize. And I was like, what the hell is this? And it's a long message. I'm like, whoa, what did I do?
Are you in trouble? What the
I was like, oh shit. And it's one of Andrew Vaughn's former college teammates at Cal asking if I would do their fantasy football draft order for them. And I was like,
what?
And they're like, well, we just love all the things that you've done with the photoshops of Andrew, and we always send them to each other in our group chat. And I'm like, is he in this group chat? They're like, oh yeah, he's seen all of them. And I'm like,
yes.
Oh no. I was like, oh God, he's definitely seen the Speedo one then for sure. So I was like, sure. What do you want me to do? And he was like, oh, just put together a video. You can make jokes at us or whatever you want. And I was like, all right. So he gives me the list of names, and yeah, as Alex Root asked, yes, Corey Lee was in this league. Corey Lee and Andrew Vaughn were both in this fantasy league.
Corey Lee as well.
So yeah, I get the list of names of who's going to be in it, and I just go and I look up their college stats, other than Andrew Vaughn at the point who'd been in the majors. And I was just going through, and I was just making jokes like, "Oh, this guy's, says a stolen base rate of this, or blah blah. What the hell are you running from, an MLB career? Just dumb shit like that." So I think it was about 12 of them that I went through and did this bit for, and I'm pretty sure Corey Lee and Andrew Vaughn are the only two that are in the majors, or have spent time in the majors from that team. So a lot of them were like.
Did you get any feedback on this, Sam, from the guy who messaged you afterwards?
Oh yeah,
did he let you know that they enjoyed it or what?
They enjoyed it very much. I think I put in there. I said, Andrew, I love you. Please don't, sue me for what I've been doing with your likeness. I can't afford it, shit like that. So they all loved it. They had fun with it. So yeah, so kind of a third degree separation with Andrew Vaughn via that.
I always love that story because to me, you see Andrew Vaughn out there, he just doesn't seem like a very friendly or affable guy. But then you hear that he's getting his balls busted mercilessly by you in a video that you submitted to his friends for his fantasy football. Okay, maybe the guy's a little bit of a sport. He's just a little serious on the field or something. It was endearing to me that he was receptive to all this shit that you were giving him, and that his teammates asked to give to him. So that was crazy. That was absolutely awesome. I love that.
Very gung ho.
I love it. Let's talk current White Sox. The trade deadline is upon us. The White Sox haven't done shit yet, to be honest with you. Are you surprised that Adrian Hauser and Luis Robert Jr. and people that you think might get traded, I think those are probably the top two here, are still on this team? Luis is about ready to play center field in the next 20 minutes when the game starts. Are you surprised these guys are still here or not?
Yeah, the Luis thing is always tricky because it's kind of happened a little bit last year around the deadline. Everyone's like, is he going to get traded? Is he not? And then he's like, oh, he's got a mysterious, hip injury or his legs hurting him again. And, are they just leaking this to, tell people to stay away, or are they just forewarning people like he's actually hurt? You may not want him. Like, what's the deal with this? Adrian Hauser, I was kind of surprised that he wasn't traded after his last start in Pittsburgh. I thought throughout this past week, there might be some movement there, but as you said, the trade deadline's been dead. So there has been nothing until, today there's been a couple pitchers traded, some catchers. So the market's starting to settle. And I guess maybe Chris Getz had learned hey, maybe I shouldn't set the market. Maybe somebody else should set it and then I could see what I can get. Which seeing a White Sox front office is doing that is very questionable and probably wrong. And maybe he just forgot that, he's got people to trade. But Luis, I don't know. It's so tricky with his, expensive option that he's got coming up and what that hole is going to be. And everyone's like, just get him out of here. He obviously doesn't want to be here, but then, he's trying to push to get on the field. And there's a lot going around that nobody knows what the hell's happening.
It's true.
But I do think that Adrian Hauser will definitely be traded. There was word coming out saying Mike Tauchman probably won't be traded, which I find very odd.
Yeah. Strange.
But there could always be somebody, like you said, the Grant Taylor thing with the blog that you wrote, that. Yes. And then 2 days later, it came out, Grant Taylor is very much a name. I'm like, the fuck?
That's how bad Rosenthal's gotten. He's fallen to the level which he's reading the Beef-Loaf blog and saying, I'm going to put that shit out as my own. That's how terrible. I got to ask Alex Rudenreeves on here, and I said, is his guy Robert Murray, has he passed up Ken Rosenthal? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And this just makes me more believe that as well. So I agree. It's very weird. I am a proponent of, I'd be okay if the White Sox want to spend $20 million on Luis next year and let him play center field. I don't think there's very much harm. They got no center fielder in waiting, and the payroll's almost nothing, and it's not my money. And if he comes out and was great, beautiful. Then you got the trade value rebuilt. But I still feel like they probably will trade him this deadline, even though nothing has happened yet. But you're right. There's always some mysterious circumstance around him. Mm-hmm. And it could very well be that the White Sox still think of him as one player and nobody else does think of it. And they never kind of get together there. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. I really don't like Luis being traded just because there really isn't a replacement for him at all.
Right. No.
I mean, you could throw Michael A. Taylor out in center for the rest of the season, whatever, or Austin Slater, I guess, if you want to have terrible center field defense.
You want to really risk it.
I mean, Michael A. Taylor can hold his own. He's played center field for a long time, but I don't know. It really is just going to depend on what they can find in the market for Luis. But I'm with you. I think you just pick up his option, let him run again. Maybe he decides, hey, 2023, when I put up all those numbers, was fun. Let's do that again. But
it's Jackie. It's not Brooks Baldwin slander. Did you watch him play left field in Tampa by any chance? That was a struggle. I'm going to be honest with you. And I have a great vantage point of center field from the 108 seats. We don't have a vantage point for anything else, but we have a great vantage point of watching Baldwin play center over the weekend. And you can just tell there's just. It could just be understanding where to position, whatever, because Baldwin's fast as hell too, but felt like he just wasn't getting the balls that I thought Luis would get to. So it might be a long uphill battle if they decide to say Brooks Baldwin center field is yours. It might take him a while to learn. So yeah, exactly. Now, Sam, the 2025 White Sox, well, they're still bad. Some may say, like me, that they are fun bad. They're a big improvement on the 2024 squad. What part of the gameplay has been pleasing to you, interesting to you, something that's keeping you engaged with this year's team?
You may not have thought this over the last few games, but their defense has definitely looked better overall this season. I know they had some toot blondes and some, drop.
Yeah, yesterday was a little rough for them.
But, their defense has obviously been improved. Last year was just a comedy of errors all over the field. You just had nobody playing well in their positions. The pitching has been a little bit better. There was a little bumpy in the beginning of the season with relievers, but I think the bullpen's kind of found somewhat of a stride, which has been nicer to watch. And everything's just looking slightly better. You can just kind of tell Will Venable is more fine tuning things than he is just like coming in to overhaul everything. And, this is my way. You can kind of just tell he's trying to get people to understand how pitchers are going at him, where to line up, making sure that, the lineup card's actually set and people are in good spots that they can play. Say what you will about Pedro. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck Pedro. But, it just seems there's a whole different atmosphere around the team. And the young guys coming up, it all seems things are getting more sunk in. And I feel like Sergio Santos might also be a big part of that in AAA. Mm-hmm. Just with the snippets of things that we've seen from him is getting guys prepared for what's actually being expected up there now.
Right. Yeah. I think you're right in your overview in that it looks professional now, whereas it did not look professional last year. We were also talking about too the one where it's like the upgrade in talent at many of the positions. While you don't have any stars on the field, you just have like competence kind of in a lot of places. And so it's still a very bad team, and you don't have the superstars to carry you over and become like. But when you watch it, you're like, well, that looks like just a regular bad team, not a horrendous team that has no fucking clue what they're doing and a horrible manager, at the headmaster there. So I agree 100%. I saw Sammy Davis says they actually have a game plan against opposing starting pitchers. I was thinking of that. I liked your comment about the bullpen, especially because before the season, Dan Szymborski projected them as the worst bullpen he's ever projected in the history of Zips. Yeah. And they're kind of like, their ERA is kind of like league average, for a bullpen. So it's crazy that, they pieced together a bunch of bullshit, but it looks competent because of, the sum of the parts, the putting them in the right spot to do things and the defense that's playing well. Yeah. Competence is all we need. Exactly. Yeah. We'll take it for now. Yeah. It's better than goddamn nothing.
And I mean, Zimbrowski was probably right at the beginning of the season. If you look at the listed names there with the bullpen at the beginning of the year, you're like, yeah, that looks like the league. Where's bullpen?
Yeah.
Easily, because who the hell are half these guys?
Yeah, there was no. And well, it's funny too is like, and out of that group, the only guy who was really a guy, Freelander Baroa, blew out his arm, so they don't even have that guy. Like, he's gone, so you just had to put like a random guy in there. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm not a Jordan Leisure fan either. He's he's exactly the opposite of a beef loaf kind of guy. He's all flash, got the big fastball. Everyone seems to be able to fucking hit it. Maybe I could get a bet on it. I'm not sure. But speaking of the young core, any early favorites, Sam, out of the young core? Any players you're falling head over heels in love with out of the young group that's out there? Anybody you're really enjoying the way they play ball?
So far, Kyle Teal's been a lot of fun to watch behind the plate. Just his plate approach too. He's only got his one homer so far, but I think that'll come around. He's still getting on base. He's still hitting the ball. His athleticism behind the plate is like sneaky good. Like, I don't know where the hell that came from, because you look at him and you're like, that guy can't move. Like, come on, there's no way that guy can move. And he's got that one. What was it? Was it against Tampa? He had like that one-handed pick and almost threw whoever their speed guy is.
No, they threw him out. Yeah, they threw him out at the plate. They had on the wild pitch. He threw the guy out at the plate. Yeah, that's right. That
too. Yeah, they flicked through. They had like Kyle Teal's just been fun.
Yeah. He's super athletic. And like the first couple games I saw him, I was like, Treasy and I were like, he's actually fast. Like, we had heard, he might steal some bases when he comes up. We're like, catcher that has even a tiny bit of athleticism is like, I'm going to steal some bases. And then he scored from first on a fucking double. We're like, holy shit, that guy can't actually run. Like, wow.
Guy's got wheels. And, obviously, Colson Montgomery is a very interesting case. I've seen a lot of people out there. Why is he playing third so much? He never played third. And like, why didn't he play third in the minors if they were going to have him play? They didn't know they were going to play him at third base.
Right.
They didn't know they were not going to have a first baseman for 3 months. Like,
exactly.
It's, it sucks that he's not playing short, but he's also not doing terribly at third. Like, he did get tackled by Ian Happ yesterday, but
he had an error. He had a Roger Dorn Ole, but he's made some nice plays at third as well. So,
and we've seen with him playing short, he's got some range. He he's got an arm on him for sure. I mean, he also looks like he's way too tall for his body. But
it does. I wonder if he really has range, Sam, or he's just so long it looks like he has range. Like he's like so long, like because you watch my draft play short, and he got the little legs, and it's max effort everywhere, and then Paulson's like 2 steps he's got there, and it's like, is that really range, or is it just you're 6'5" and you can just reach that shit? That's what I wonder.
I'm just glad we don't have the Mydroth, Madrigal thing where, when they have the Cubs in Madrigal playing third, he take like 9 steps toward first base before he throw the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's very. I wish Mydroth had a little more arm, but I always noticed Treasy was always reminding me too. It's like when he has to make a really hard throw, his throws all kind of sail. And I wonder how much of that is just like, bro ain't got enough arm for all this shit, Yeah. But regardless, they've been fun. And defensively, they've been decent as a group.
Very much so, yeah.
Sam, it doesn't have to be record, but give me something you think that would be a good goal for the 2026 White Sox. We're seeing the competence here. We're seeing some of these young players come up that are interesting, and we're having some fun with them. But when we get to 2026, what's kind of a realistic goal for this team?
Well, for record, less than 100 losses should be expected by that point.
Yeah, agreed.
If you, want to quantify something like this, I would say a position player all-star would be cool.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good call. I like that.
We had Luis in 2023, and then obviously last year I don't think anybody should be going.
Yeah.
And then, Shane Smith this year, but to have a position player actually start in the All-Star game would kind of be like a turning point of this team. It's like showing, hey, we can play baseball again. We learned how.
We got a real guy.
We got people from other organizations and brought them here so that we didn't have to do it ourselves.
Exactly.
But I think I don't care about all-star voting, or whatever. But to have somebody even be mentioned to get into the game would be cool, as opposed to just like a reserve later pick, of a pitcher. It'd be cool to just have that again, to have somebody representing us on the offensive side of the ball.
Exactly. Have at least one real guy. At least one guy can lean on the offense. Even when in those lean years, in a lot of those lean Han years, we always had Jose Abreu. We always had at least one really good offensive player in Jose Abreu, even though the rest of the team was shit on that side of the ball. So it would be nice to return to that level of normalcy. I couldn't agree more. And in less than 100 wins. I mean, truth be told, they're playing very well out of the All-Star break here. Yeah. My own, in my head, I was like, shouldn't this core get good enough where they could be like almost a 500 team in the second half of next year, where their starts coming together? But I'm not sure if that's realistic, because there's not a lot more reinforcements right now, right? No. Everyone's here except for a couple of the pitchers, who could really make an impact, but the most of the guys are kind of here. And so it's them that have got to take steps. And even though I know Edgar Carroll's hitting like Wade Boggs against lefties, the rest of them, we're going to need a little bit of a step here, I think.
Until they figure out the outfield, Braden Montgomery is all they got.
It's all they got. And I know he got promoted to Double-A, but I heard he wasn't exactly crushing A ball. So we'll wait on that one. We'll wait with bated breath there. So. All right, let's jump over to Sopranos before we get out of here. You're a big Sopranos guy, as I am too, and you'll even catch when I make an offhanded Sopranos joke that not everyone caught, but you're deep in the weeds with me here. So I figured I'll give you a couple questions here. Who was the better internal foil for Tony Soprano? Who was the better foil out of his own guys, Richie Aprile or Ralph Cifaretto? Give it to me, Sam.
See, a lot of people would think it's Ralphie just because he was there for longer. He was there for more seasons. He was and Tony dealt with him on his own. But Richie Aprile was such a goddamn thorn in that whole second season that you could just see it on even in James Gandolfini's. I don't even think he was acting. He might have just hated him as an actor. That just felt so genuine of just hate.
Yeah.
And him with the running over and everything.
Beansy, oh my God, that was, I mean, for him to just he's just introduced, he's just out of jail, he goes and harasses Beansy right away, breaks the coffee pot over his fucking head, and then he's running him over, and then they're meeting with him later on, you should put a ramp in there, he might not walk again, and they said, check that, he will never walk again. He's a shopping cart. And it's like, holy shit, this is a lot of vengeance for this dude, come on now.
I think Richie to me was more of the foil to Tony than Ralph was. Ralphie did some stupid shit, but
I agree, because he was actually trying to gather up people for a mutiny. Whereas Ralphie was more like, he just wanted to be made captain and to keep earning his ass off. And he wanted just a little more respect out of Tony than Tony was willing to give him. Whereas Richie thought, fuck Tony, I should be the boss. He can kiss my ass, kind of thing. Or Junior should be the boss again, and then we're going to kill Tony, you know?
Yeah. And all Richie got was Bevilacqua. Poor guy. I'm with you now.
What a great scene. He's like chasing him down the street, throwing a baseball bat at him. Yeah, absolutely. Great choice. I love your selection. All right, now I know you're a happily married man. I've met your wife many times and seen her out of the ballpark, but this is an interview, so I'm going to need you to make a decision here regardless, even though you are married. If you had to choose one of Tony's Gumars, who are you choosing and why?
Probably Valentina.
Okay. Well, how come? How come Valentina?
Well, she was like the only one that really had a personality with him. She played some jokes on him. You know, she kind of messed with him. I enjoyed the horse shit prank she pulled on Ralphie and all that stuff. So the salt on Tony was funny. But, I would want Valentina after hospital visit so that she didn't know if I was there or not.
Tough time to break up. Well, I'm going back to my wife now that you're all burnt to shit.
I'm gonna take care of you. Don't worry.
I honestly, I love that choice. If I was choosing, I would choose the same as you, because I found her less crazy than kind of all the rest of them. She was more just like kind of fun loving and enjoyed it. I think she in a way she took it more personally when he was breaking up with her, kind of as like an assault on her personality, as opposed to just these other Gumars were just insane. So they were gonna go nuts regardless of what happened there. And she was not so much like that.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people like as far as a storyline, love the fireworks of Gloria Trillo, but you could tell the instant they got together that she's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, something was not going to end well there.
Yeah, it's like he didn't end up dead on all that stuff. Like Jesus, that was crazy. So
lucky it was just a stake that hit him in the back.
Yeah, absolutely right. All right, last question. Whose backstory do you wish David Chase would do an ad hoc season or two of original television for? Which one of the characters from the show? Sort of like how Breaking Bad has like Better Call Saul and has the kind of the storyline that puts out. Which Sopranos character would you love to see kind of a backstory? They did Many Saints in Newark, but I thought it was shabbily done. I enjoyed it, but I was like, they could do more and they could focus better. Who would you like?
I gotta go with my guy Artie Bucco. Yes. I want his journey through culinary school and how he got to Vesuvio to be where it was. And I love Artie Bucco, man. Who doesn't love Artie Bucco? And
Artie Bucco should have been killed 20 times during that series. If Tony's not his best friend, he's dead 20 different times.
I want to know why he chose to get the earring and then go to the Crazy Horse and do all this weird dancing with her. Just him and Charmaine's, back and forth is always so good. And, convivial host. Artie Bucco.
Love it. Excellent fucking choice. I hope David Chase hears this podcast and actually doesn't that, because I would love to see a backstory, even a miniseries, six episodes of an old Artie Bucco storyline would be tremendous. So, well, Sam, thanks for sharing your thoughts on the all sports scene, Andrew Vaughn, the White Sox developing core, and Tony Soprano's Gumars. Remember, we ain't trying to be right on the show. We're just trying to understand. Anything you want to plug before you go, my friend?
All sports scene. We'll be on tomorrow night on the YouTube channel with Wasabi Nuts as our guest on Talking Out Our Ass. We'll hear mostly every Thursday at 7:00 on the same YouTube channel. So come subscribe, come hang out. If you don't take sports too seriously and want to get made fun of, come hang out with us.
Excellent, Sam. Take care, my friend. Good to see you. Hope to see you in the ballpark very soon.
Appreciate you.
That was Sam Reeves. That was a lot of fun. The Andrew Vaughn story. I'm glad he was able to tell that. That was a great time. Next week's guest is nobody. I'm going to be on vacation. I'll be on holiday, as the kids say, next week. I'm lining up some guests. I have a very popular Yankees-centric guest that I'm trying to get back on the show. I think a lot of you have enjoyed before, and I'm working on a few other names that will be new guests on the show. Thanks to Punky's Pizza and Pasta and all the One Away family who's up in the YouTube comments. Appreciate you smashing the like button, all the comments and everything. We will see you on Thursday for the One Away podcast. Bye-bye.